सागर की लहर लहराती है मुरली की मीठी तानों में। ये इंद्रधनुष के रंगों से भरती है उमंगे प्राणों में। तन सिहर सिहर मन मचल।
Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. Today is 1st Feb 2023, and the original date of the Avyakt Murli is 25th of August 1971. This Murli is very interesting as Baba is inspiring us to do the 7 days course for ourselves again in a very unique way. So Baba is talking about the 7 weaknesses that he sees in the efforts of the effort makers. And then also Baba gives us the solution, the method, how we can overcome those 7 weaknesses. And later on, Baba summarizes the method in just 3 words, to make it simple for us. So we'll see what is that as we read the Murli. The essence of Baba's Murli is the main 7 weaknesses and the 7 days course to end them. The main 7 weaknesses and the 7 days course to end them. Are you able to stabilize yourself beyond sound in 1 second? So we need to check this. In a second, am I able to stabilize myself beyond sound? Just as you are able to move your physical organs as and when you wish, in the same way, are you able to stabilize the love of your intellect as, when, and wherever you wish? So this is the controlling power that Baba talks about, like you can control your physical organs. Likewise, can you control your intellect or stabilize wherever you wish to? Have you become powerful to this extent? Are you progressing in this method? If the method is accurate, you will definitely experience the result. If the method is accurate, you will definitely experience the result. That is the success and greatness to be increasing day by day. According to this result, are you able to recognize how accurate the stage of your effort is? Right? Baba is saying that if you order your intellect, if you order your mind and intellect to stabilize at one point, so are you able to do that? So depending on the result you get, you can understand how the method is, how your effort is. The success of this is the main sign of recognizing the method. In order to recognize anything, there are specific signs. So through this sign, are you able to recognize the signs of your perfect intellect? Nowadays, what are the main weaknesses visible in the effort of the effort makers? So here Baba is telling us about the 7 weaknesses. The first one is, there isn't power in your awareness. There isn't power in your awareness, that is smriti. Second is, according to your capacity, you have developed number-wise divinity and spirituality in your vision. So this is the second weakness that Baba is talking about, that is drishti. So Baba said there is divinity and spirituality in your vision, number-wise, it is not constant. Third one is, due to a lack of willpower in your attitude is not constant. It continues to be mischievous. It fluctuates, it changes. So Baba says that there is lack of willpower in your attitude. So vritti, third one is attitude. Fourth one, due to a lack of attention to the incorporeal stage, the main vices of body consciousness, lust, and anger repeatedly attack you from time to time. So fourth weakness is lack of attention to the practice of incorporeal stage. Fifth one is while you're living in the gathering or coming into connection with others, the atmosphere and the vibrations create their own impression on you. Which means you come under the influence of the atmosphere, you are influenced by the vibrations of others. So Baba is talking about atmosphere and vibrations here. Sixth one is due to the lack of the avyakt angelic stage, you fail when you come to any feeling of good or bad things. So lack of angelic stage, avyakt stage, which because of which you become, Baba says, you feel, you come into feeling. Seventh one is you are not so content with your pilgrimage of remembrance. So these seven weaknesses, smriti, drishti, vritti, and then Baba talked about incorporeal stage, avyakt angelic stage, and then the atmosphere and vibrations. And the seventh one, Baba said, the pilgrimage of remembrance. This is number-wise result of the effort makers. Now, in order to finish these seven things, you have to do the 7 days course again. In order to finish these 7 things, you must once again revise for yourself the 7 days course that you give to others. You are revising the Murlis, right? And by revising them, you experience newness and power increasing. In the same way, now sit in solitude at Amrit Vela and solve each of these 7 things one by one, and then churn about how they are merged in your day's activity, and then extract the butter, that is the essence, and exchange views amongst yourselves. So Baba is saying that like you are revising the Murli, so you have a better understanding, you have deep power. Likewise, Baba said, now you revise the course. Baba is saying that sit in solitude, do it at Amrit Vela, and each lesson one by one, all the 7 lessons, you revise, you practice it. You have done the course, but just as after giving the course to the students, you give them a yukti for every lesson or bring something to their attention, right? When we do the course after each lesson, we give them some homework, no? So Baba is saying likewise, draw your attention. You give them a yukti for every lesson or bring something to their attention. In the same way, each of you regular godly students has to once again practice one part for 1 week and put it into a practical form. So here Baba is saying that practice one lesson for a week and bring it into practice. Just as you do the weekly course, and in the same way you also have a week for purity or a week for peace, so too for your own progress, practice each lesson for a week and put it into a practical form. So practice each lesson for a week and put it into a practical form. So what will happen by revising it? Success will easily and clearly be visible closely. So not that we don't know the course, we know the course, but Baba is talking about another level actually. So when you revise for yourself, you have a better understanding, you have a better awareness of that lesson, no? So Baba says that study it for a week and then practice it. Then success will easily and clearly be visible closely. So you will automatically become elevated. In order to make yourself great in every thought and every action, tell Baba of 3 things about the easiest method. So what 3 things? Baba says to make yourself great in every thought and every action, you need to remember 3 words or practice those 3 things. What are those 3 things? Baba is asking you to bring about greatness in your thoughts, words, and actions. In order to become great, first you have to consider yourself to be a guest in the old world. So first thing that Baba is saying, you must have this awareness that you are a guest in this old world. Second, whatever thoughts or actions you perform, keep the great contrast in your intellect and then have those thoughts or perform those actions. So if you remember a couple of days, we talked about controlling power. And for controlling power, Baba said you need to understand the great contrast. What contrast? The contrast between pure and impure, the contrast between what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is false, what is according to Srimad and what is not Srimad, right? So when you understand this contrast, definitely you will do what is right, what is pure, no? So for the intellect, Baba says you need to understand this contrast and have that controlling power on the intellect. So first thing was guest in the old world. Second thing is great contrast in the intellect. And then Baba says, third, continue to praise the virtues and the elevated task of the Father and the Divine Family. Third one is to praise the virtues and the elevated task of the Father and the Divine Family. So these 3 things, guest, great contrast, and praise. First, a guest. Second, the great contrast. And third, the praise. Like in Hindi, it is Mehman, Mahima, and Mahanantar. So Baba says that consider yourself to be a guest, understand the great contrast, and keep praising. Keep praising Baba, keep praising the family. If you continue to think about these 3 things, then the 7 weaknesses will finish. So this is the easy method that Baba is telling us, that just remember these 3 words, practice these 3 things, and then you can finish those 7 weaknesses that Baba mentioned. Because of not considering yourself to be a guest, what happens if you don't consider yourself as a guest? Baba says, you become attracted by any form or company and your attention is drawn to it. Then the consciousness of I and my comes in, no? And then you become attracted to people, to things. So Baba says, if you do not consider yourself to be a guest, then you become attracted by any form or company and your attention is drawn to it. By keeping the great contrast in front of you, there can never be any trace or progeny of body consciousness or anger. The second practice, if you do, of the great contrast, then Baba says, right, if you understand, then the vices, the weaknesses, or the negativity will not come in. And the third one, by praising the virtues and the task of the Father and each soul, you will not come into any ill feeling due to any situation or any person. So if your mind and intellect is busy praising Baba, singing the praise of the divine family, then Baba says these vices won't creep in, not even the progeny of body consciousness or anger. Third thing Baba said, if you keep praising the virtues and the task of the Father and each soul, then you will not come into any ill feeling due to any situation or any person. And by constantly singing praise of the virtues and the task, the discontentment of the pilgrimage of remembrance will easily change into constant remembrance. The seventh weakness that Baba mentioned, that you're not content with your chart of remembrance. Then Baba said that if you praise, then this complaint will also finish, or this weakness will finish, and there will be constant remembrance. So constantly keep these three words in your awareness, and you will become powerful. Then your vision, your attitude, your awareness, and the atmosphere will all be transformed. Smriti, Drishti, Vritti, and then Baba says the Vayumandal, atmosphere. From the copper age until now, you have been singing praise of your own self and of the souls of your divine family. From the copper age, since we started devotion, Baba said you have been singing God's praise, no? And also praise of the deities. So deities are the souls of the divine family. So you've been singing their songs of praise. Now, why do you see or imbibe in your intellect the weaknesses of the souls whom you come into connection with in the living form? So this is something really very important, and I mean, it really touched me that Baba says that you have been singing their praise since copper age when they are in the idol form. And now when those same deities are in the living form in front of you, so now why do you see their weaknesses? So why can't we sing their praise in the living form? Even now you must sing the praise of the virtues of the elevated souls that have been selected out of the entire world. So amongst we Brahmins, we tend to see weaknesses, no? So Baba is saying these are the souls who are selected by God. So how can we point out any weakness in God's selection? So Baba says these are selected out of the entire world. These are elevated souls, living deity souls. So why do we see the weaknesses? Even now you must sing the praise of the virtues of the elevated souls that have been selected out of the entire world. With your intellect imbibe their virtues, and with your lips continue to sing the praise of both, Baba's praise and family's praise. Then will your vision or your attitude become mischievous? Will there be any feeling of anyone's weakness? Now you have experienced that no matter how beautiful an idol in a temple may be, how beautifully decorated it may be, your vision does not become mischievous towards its beauty and beautiful decoration, even the slightest, even in your thoughts. Right? So Baba says when you go to the temple, you see the beautiful idols decorated so beautifully. And even though you see the beauty there, you are not attracted in that way, no? Like there's no physical attraction kind of, there's no trace of impurity there. In fact, you have so much respect. So Baba says that when your vision doesn't become mischievous there, why? So Baba will talk about this in like what happens when you see here something and you see the deities. However, if you see any attractiveness or any beauty in any cinema or any such books, or if you even see a hoarding, then your vision and attitude becomes mischievous. Why? Even the idols have that attraction. The idols also have that beauty in their decoration and in their features. You see the deities, they're so beautiful and decorated as well. So Baba says there's no attraction there, but when in the world you see some beautiful pictures in the books or in the cinema or on the hoardings, then the vision and attitude changes. Why? The idols also have the beauty in their decoration and in their features. Even then, Why does your vision and attitude become mischievous here? Keep both these images in front of yourself and on either side of you. And in 1 second, as you go to that side, the attitude becomes mischievous. And by going to the other side, the attitude becomes pure. Hmm? So, if you see the idols in the temple, there's pure attitude. And if you see in the world, there is not so pure attitude. So, what is the reason for this purity and impurity? Baba says awareness. Hmm? Awareness. You have the awareness that this one is a goddess. And so the awareness makes your vision and your attitude pure. Right? So is the awareness, as is your vision, no? Then accordingly your attitude is formed. So Baba says awareness is there that this is the goddess, and therefore your vision and attitude is pure. But when you have the awareness that this one is a female, then that awareness pulls your vision and attitude towards impurity. When your attention goes towards the body, then Baba says there is impurity in your vision and attitude. There you see the form, whereas on the other side you see the spirituality. You must have had this experience in the past, have you not? The present is also in a percentage. And so, in order to finish this, whenever you see anything anywhere, whenever you are speaking to anyone, what should you have in your awareness? So here Baba is giving us the yukti. Whenever you come into contact with other souls, what awareness you should have. To consider that one to be a soul is the first stage. So just not to consider them as a soul, that is the first step Baba is saying. But whilst performing actions, whilst coming into connection and relationship, you have the awareness that these living images are the living form of the images of the non-living deities. So basically, Baba Singh consider them to be as deities in the living form. The souls whom you have been worshipping since the Copper Age in the idol form. So now those same souls are in the living form in front of you. Right? The souls of the divine family, the souls of the Brahmin family. So Baba is saying that have this awareness that this one is a deity soul, this one is a deity soul. So by having the form of a deity in your awareness, just as you do not have the slightest thought of impurity or attraction for the body of the non-living images, in the same way, by having this awareness for the living images, you will not have this complaint even in your thoughts, and you will become complete. So those complaints or those weaknesses will finish, and Baba says you will become complete. Do you understand? These are the yuktis to completely overcome the complaint of the present effort of the effort makers. So Baba gave these few yuktis here. The first one, as Baba said, revise the 7 days course once again for yourself. Study each lesson for a week and bring the essence of that lesson into practical form. Second thing Baba said, have the awareness of the 3 things. Consider yourself to be a guest, have the great contrast in your intellect, and praise. Praise the virtues and the elevated task of the Father and the Divine Family. And third thing Baba said, whenever you come into contact, come in connection with anyone, so have this awareness that they are a deity soul. This one is a god or a goddess. God, goddess means deities here. So have this elevated awareness, Baba said, then your vision and attitude will automatically become elevated. So weaknesses won't influence you. You won't have any ill feelings. The atmosphere will become powerful, right? So Baba gave us these methods to finish those 7 weaknesses. Let's sit in silence for a minute and then we can churn. Om Shanti. Yeah. So anyone can share what did you take from today's Murli?
Om Shanti, sister.
Yeah, Om Shanti.
Baba says how to overcome the 7 weaknesses that we have, whether we are able to go beyond sound in once again, whether we are able to stabilize the love of our intellect. And then the first power is that we should be aware of Shruti, that is whatever capacity we are in, and divinity and spirituality, and how the lack of willpower fluctuates and changes, and lack of attraction in incorporeal stage, and the influence of atmosphere and vibrations of others, how it affects us, and lack of angelic stage. So Baba says that we can overcome all this by revising our 7 days course again. Thank you, sister.
Yeah. Thank you.
Om Shanti, a very beautiful Murli. I am taking this takeaway that sometimes what happens is in the Brahmin Parivar also, divine family also, because of individual sanskars, we tend to look at the the weaknesses in others and get influenced with it. But Baba has given a very good yukti that the awareness plays a very important role. From the copper age until now, we have been singing praise of our own self and the souls of the entire divine family in the worthy of worship form. So when the this keeping this as the backdrop, when we are seeing their living form, why do we see the weaknesses in others? We should always see the virtues, divine virtues in others, and this awareness transforms, uh, and the awareness of they being in God and God, they being the goddesses, the deity form. It changes the vision and attitude, uh, and it makes them pure. So this is the takeaway I'm taking. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
For me, it's just what I would say a micro approach. Baba just said, why you're still effort maker? Why you're not Tivra effort makers? Because you have all these lack in you. But I would just like to first go to the first one. And I think I would like to target that. If you just see awareness is a smriti. Like if suppose I see a dog on the road which is barking, I can think, oh, the dog can bite. No, dogs don't bite. So it's the memory of that particular thing which I already have in my mind. So here what memory Baba is saying, the first lesson. That's so the first take goes, the first weakness is the first lesson. Who am I?
Yeah.
Dot. Who is Baba? Dot. What is the world? Dot. So that awareness alone, if I see, then I can see the jewel. I will not see the body. I will not see the snake. Then I can, when I do my action, I can be like a deity. Then I would become perfect and complete. For this, I have to accept. Janna hai, manna hai, and I should follow it. That helps me to change. So that Baba has said, sit at Amrit Vela, keep doing your first lesson. I will go down, and introversion. Then if you choose, you can change, and then you can become. I like the first weakness. I think I would like to give full force on that. Om Shanti.
Yeah. Yeah, that is about awareness. And Baba said the awareness is the seed, no, kind of. So it depends on your awareness, your attitude, your vision. And then Baba says, as is the attitude, so is the atmosphere, right? So if you work on the awareness, everything is taken care of then. Yeah.
Om Shanti Didi.
Om Shanti.
Today Baba said to me, you have to become a guest for this whole world because if you want to become zero to hero, then you you have to follow Father. So this is what I learned, Didi. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I like the point where my Baba says in this Murli that you need to sit in solitude at Amrit Vela and churn the above 7 steps and extract the butter from it, and then we must have a week for be in love for a week. The next week be in peace. The next week you need to say to yourself, I'll not get angry, free from anger. So we need to practice this, and we need to be in a practical form. So this way the success will be very easy, and automatically our stage will be elevated one. Om Shanti.
Yeah. Baba said, study each lesson for a week and extract the butter. Each lesson for a week, how these 3 things that Baba mentioned, that guest consciousness, then the great contrast between what is right, what is wrong, or what is pure, what is impure. And then the third thing, Baba said, keep praising. So how these 3 things you are merged, in the 7 lessons of the course. You need to churn on this. And that is why Baba said, study it for a week and bring it into practical form.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
So my takeaway is also, so Baba mentioned 7 points in that 7 days course. So the first one, one of them is like Baba says, lack of attention to the corporeal stage, the main voice. Body conscious and less, right? So there Baba says the solution is to sit in Amrit Vela. So I think this has came a couple of Sakar Murlis also recently, where Baba says in order to break all the consciousness of body consciousness, sit in solitude in Amrit Vela and practice that we are a guest, we have entered this body, just like Baba comes just for a short time. and goes off, right? And similarly, we should also have the awareness that we are guests to this world. And I think yesterday's Vardhan also have that similar point where which can be used, Baba says, attention and checking,
Yeah.
in order to maintain that awareness.
Right. Yeah. Throughout the day, right? Not
Right.
just in the morning and not just at the end of the day, but throughout the day in between, you need to keep on checking yourself again and again. Yeah. 2-3 days back, Baba did mention in the Sakar Murli the 3 things, no, how you can go beyond the consciousness of the body. And there, Baba mentioned first method is to consider yourself as a guest. That you are in this body for some time or for service, like Baba comes and goes back. We also have to practice this, no, coming and going back. Very nice. Thank you, brother.
Sister, I just would like to add one thing here. As I said, the first weakness, Baba spoke about awareness.
Yeah.
You know, that's the root, he said. But see his 7th point. He says, just you put that kavach, then all the other weaknesses will just get. I just like the way that you're not content with your pilgrimage of remembrance. So that's the kavach. So he started with the evil, and then he is also giving us not a first aid solution. It's like a tonic. That 7th weakness, even he's saying, even put that loophole on it. Change the quality of your thoughts. Change your way of thinking. That was one thing I liked, the way Baba has piled up the first and the way, you know, I don't know, I took it off like that, whether what Baba meant. Then the 3 things which you said, Mehman and Antar, that's very good for my awareness. But I was just trying to churn about Mahima. I couldn't get that much thing. Mehman, yes. At the end of the day, I'm just a person. Like Baba mentioned the other day, even in the Murli, your life over here is only for a short time.
Yeah.
I'm a very short time. He mentioned in the Murli, think that you're for a short time in this world. Then I like that contrast. It is very much needed in awareness. Will that dog bite or will that dog tail? So that contrast I like, but I was just trying to churn a little bit on Mahima, because if you see, Baba speaks about Baap ki Mahima, Parivar ki Mahima. So I was just trying to connect, how can this weakness, this point, help me in the weakness? Oh, sure.
If you keep on singing Baba's praise, a couple of days, this point was also there in the Sakar Murli, where Baba said, keep singing Baba's praise. So I was just wondering, Baba likes to listen to his praise, no? But then we had this thought that, why does Baba tell us to praise him so much? Because when we praise Baba, you all must have also experienced in your meditation, when we praise Baba, when we sit in yoga, it's very easy to get connected then with Baba. And Baba's praise becomes our praise, no? Gradually. And that is why Baba says that keep praising Baba. It's not that Baba wants to listen to his praise. But when we do that, Baba's praise becomes our praise. And the second thing, when we praise the souls who come in our contact, then you won't see their weaknesses, no? There is conflict in the relationship at the level of thoughts, words, or actions, whatever, because we see the weaknesses. And that is why Baba is saying, you have been praising these souls since the Copper Age. So now why can't you praise them when they are in the living form? So again, this comes down to awareness, that have this awareness that these souls are the elevated souls of the divine family. These souls are the deities whom I've been worshipping for long.
So you say this is a virtue we have taken from the Copper Age?
Virtue from the Copper Age? No, we've been doing that, no? We've been praising the deities, right? So
Yeah.
Baba is saying that you have been doing it since Copper Age when they were in the idol form. So now when they are in the living form, why can't we see that elevated form of the soul rather than seeing the present form which has some weaknesses or drawbacks?
Okay. Carry over good things. Correct.
Yeah.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
This is a very beautiful Murli with very nice points. Thank you for rendering it also so beautifully. Um, for me, one important takeaway in this is what you just said, actually, that you look at every person around you in the soul form, in the avyakt form, so you actually, and I've tried this many times whenever some of these weakness was becoming obvious to me, especially in terms of virtues, whether it is telling lies or being dishonest or whatever. And then it becomes a little challenging, but then I was forcing myself to see the elevated form and trying to trust that there was just a certain worldly environment that led that person to do that. And it has helped me evolve and see them in a much better light. So I think this practice is something which can be challenging at times, but consistent remembrance of Baba and Almighty is what helps you in this empowerment of the practice itself. And what you very correctly said, even I used to earlier question, why does Baba want you to praise him? Or why does God, every religious text, or every spiritual text says praise, praise. And actually in one of my trance meditations, I actually got the answer from him directly. He says, I have never said that you praise me. But when you praise, all the beautiful qualities, all the loving energies of the Supreme Soul, you get connected to. And in that praise, you yourself become that.
Yes.
And you reminded me of my own meditative answer. So thank you, sister, for sharing. Om Shanti.
Yeah, like you shared, I too had a similar experience with one soul. And as you said, it is challenging, definitely. You need practice, and constantly need to remind yourself. You tend to go off track, but then again, you remind yourself, who am I and who is this soul? And then gradually the relationship improves.
That's correct. Absolutely. Om Shanti.
Okay. Anyone else would like to share, or let's meditate? Let's remember Baba. Just sit back in silence and stabilize yourself in your incorporeal form and practice going beyond sound in 1 second. With one powerful thought, check yourself. Can you stabilize your intellect wherever you wish to? Move beyond the pull of the physical world and connect your mind and intellect with Baba in the world of silence. Baba's remembrance fills the soul with so much power that you can bring into practice what Baba's Srimad tells you to do. So just by having awareness of your original pure form, having awareness that who you are, whom do you belong to, and what is your purpose in life. So with this elevated awareness, it's easy to make your vision, attitude, and actions elevated. So throughout the day, I maintain this awareness constantly that I am a pure divine being. I belong to God's clan. And then when I come into contact with other souls, I see them as elevated divine souls, originally pure, souls whom I have been worshipping since the Copper Age. And so my awareness, my attitude, my vision towards each soul is pure and elevated. And there is harmony in my relationships. And then the atmosphere also becomes powerful. Once again, I take charge of the physical body. And by maintaining this elevated awareness, I continue to spread pure, peaceful vibrations all around me out into the atmosphere. Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Shamila Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that, have a nice day. Om
Thank you,
Shanti.
sisters.